To be close to you, I've traveled at speeds that surely would get any being thrown underneath the cell. For you, I would battle Satan in hell. Now, tell me, can you smell the rose? Let me be the underlining throbbing beat enclosed beneath your very skin. See, pyramids, they live for within our souls, and picturesque like still Fuji film needing to be exposed. Blessed with a new light and a new hope, I shall continue to write hypnotically to smooth meditative beats in the late hours to the early part of the next night. The type of lines that's made for kings and NB News. Don't stop my love while it shines, newbie. And have you ever fallen in love with a king or a goddess kicked out of the heavens? You see, they walk amongst the earth flexing their gifts. Lady, why don't you go on and swing those sexy hips ahoy? Ruby red painted lips, bodies dipped in caramel chocolate chips, strawberries, oh boy. Smell the rose and allow my strength to touch your chakra. If that don't do, I shall dig deep into my repertoire. Before the night's out, lights out, camera action, you'll say, he has got to be King Mufasa. Regal like gold and unable to be cloned. You're the air that I breathe before the Chicago wind blows. I want to be so wrapped into you. It will seem as though I'm closer to your soul than mist is to H2O. And the love that you see, truly, my honesty is more valuable than that diamond in homeboy's earlobe. I can say I love you with my eyes open, or even if they close. Don't say the words if you got to babble. Can you smell the rose?
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome, sister.
Welcome to Education in the Community. Brother, that was beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
I wanted to invite you onto the show. Everyone, that's Kinara Sankofa.
You got me blushing here, stop it.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
We wanted to talk about love and relationships in the African American community, Black male and female relationships. And that is a fitting poem to start off this conversation with.
Thank you.
Where do you get that kind of feeling in order to be able to write like that?
Well, I want to say I don't claim the responsibility for that. I believe it's just a higher power, a higher source. It's impossible for me to write those words. So there's a higher connectivity to the universe and to God. Because sometimes when I start writing, I have no idea, and I think back, did you really say that? And so I know, therefore, it's not me that's writing the info. I'm just a vessel that's using the information and the words, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That is love personified. And when we're talking about all the problems that people are having in our community with their relationships and with love and not loving one another, if we could somehow listen to that higher power that's within us, then when we're speaking to the person we say we love, we will hear their hearts and hear what's going on in their minds. Can you explain what you feel needs to happen between our brothers and sisters?
Well, I believe we need to listen more to one another. I think we're talking at as opposed to talking with and to. And we're not listening. We want to be heard, but we are not interested in a lot of cases, in my opinion, to listen. And I want to say as well that sometimes I could fall short of the two. I'm not perfect, you know. I can speak about love and I can demonstrate love, but sometimes as a human being, I might fall short. But when I know that I do, then that love from within speaks to myself and my soul to say, hey, you have to apologize. And I think oftentimes we don't want to apologize because of the ego, because of the pride. And I think that's one of the things that we have to let go, is that ego and that pride, and being able to know when we're wrong, or if we've said something that may have caused pain in another person. We have to be honest with ourselves and being able to step forward and be able to apologize.
I want to make sure the audience knows that we have agreed that we're not experts
That is
in the
correct.
field of love. What we're speaking from is our experiences,
Yes.
our growth,
Yes.
our mistakes,
Yes.
and those things that we feel about the whole issue of love, but not necessarily want to represent ourselves as being the authority on the topic.
I can assure you, I'm no expert by a long shot. I'm still learning myself as a person who truly believes in love, a person who truly needs to feel that love, because I believe any human being on the planet, no matter what your ethnicity is, have that need. And as opposed to a want, it's a need for me to be in love with self first, in love with the Most High, Amen Ra. First, myself, then I can start to love another individual. But I believe from a man's perspective, what we've been taught by society is that to express your love deeply and or your vulnerability as a man, then it's kind of taboo. I know within the African American tribe or the black tribe growing up, if a man was to cry, for example, he's weak or he's lame or he's being a sissy, don't be a punk, things of these sort of words come out. And I think we suppress those feelings. And it's really important that we get in contact, and I say this, with our femininity, because most men are afraid to be in I don't think most men are aware of it, but when you have a person that is in contact with his femininity and unafraid to show his emotion, unafraid to express his vulnerability, he's a very strong man. And a woman that can recognize that, in my opinion, has a jewel. If she doesn't recognize it, she then will misuse that, and that can also damage a man's spirit as well. Yeah.
I think also what happens is that we start to judge one another and feel that we, because of our past experiences, don't want to be hurt again. And therefore, we don't want to love again because that love might end in the same kinds of hurt. But once we start understanding that it's because of those past experiences that we can love even more and be better at loving, the older we get and the more experienced we become, then that love can be even greater than anything that we experienced when we were younger. And unfortunately, there are too many people who tend to focus on attracting to them the same kinds of folks that they were involved in before, rather than being open to new experiences.
Yes, that attraction is really, wow, you said something very powerful there. Having been in love, having been married before for well over 20 years, went through a divorce, grew in love. I refuse to say that I want to fall in love with anyone. I don't want to fall for anything. I believe it's a growing experience, and having grown in love with a being before and know how to surrender and submit to it, even after that relationship failed, not being afraid to go in and try this love thing again, or being in a relationship with a woman again. And you learn, as you say, from the various experiences, what you contribute to a loving environment between two people, and what you did not contribute to having this growth between those two individuals, and owning up and being truthful to your part in or your role, because sometimes we blame the other person, it's them. But we have to look at from within ourselves to find out, what did I do to contribute to the breakup, and how can I better assist myself and also the other being when I come in connection with that other person, to not take those same issues into my relationship, or that same baggage into the next relationship. So I think it's really important.
And I really don't see it as a failure. The 20 plus years was an experience that brought about whatever growth that you may have now.
Yes.
And brought about hopefully children. It may have brought about experiences with owning property and stuff, but it also brought about more of who you are because of that experience.
Exactly.
And that's not a failure.
No, I don't consider, I'm grateful for the relationship that I did experience with my ex and any woman thereafter, and it's not like I've been in a lot of relationships, but they all have taught me something about myself.
Yes.
And they all have taught me what I would like to have in my relationship with the woman that I'm with, or whom I shall be with. I believe marriage is a very sacred thing, and I believe it's very important. And trust and believe I will do that again, because there's no fear for myself to go and be in love, or excuse me, to be in a committed relationship. And I think marriage is a very powerful thing, a very sacred thing. I didn't know that, you know, when I was growing up, or when I was in the marriage early on. You know, you live and you learn certain things, and you experience and experience certain things. So now, having been there and done that, I know that I am, I look forward to it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Being someone that has experienced marriages and as well as divorce, and experienced love and relationships, I can honestly say that now I am in a relationship that is more loving and more of what I desire to be in, more than any other relationship I've ever experienced before, whether it be marriage or dating kind of relationship. And that's because the man that I'm with has the courage to not only love himself, but also love other people around him. And I have the benefit of being part of that group of other people that he loves. And that could be family members, it could be other friends, male and female.
Right.
But too often people become jealous or self-centered and want themselves to be the only person that their partner can love. And do you feel that in a relationship, brothers and sisters should be able to have other friends and loved ones that they
It's
love?
important. It's very important that you have other people in your life of whom you can love, and that will love you as well. I will say that it's important to be able to communicate certain barriers or boundaries, not barriers, boundaries within a relationship. For example, if in my relationship with my lady, if at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, one of her male friends were calling, I would say, okay, sweetie, around this time is okay. Anytime thereafter, I don't think it's cool, particularly if he's a single man. You may have been in that relationship, a friendly relationship with him for 15, 20 years, but you now have myself in your life, and I think there are certain boundaries. Unless, of course, I know this person, I've met this person, I know his values, and I can respect those values. I think we have to, as individuals, know how to set boundaries and or to communicate, whereas both parties, it's a win-win situation. It's not a win-lose situation.
Can you tell me the name of your CD? I know is
The Coldest Summer Ever.
It is beautiful.
Oh, that piece, the CD, the title came about And when talking about love, whew, my goodness, the coldest summer ever. It was the coldest summer one could ever imagine. Sad nights filled by dim lights in a room occupied by sweet perfumes only in my mind of your natural scent. Just 29 hours ago, I was bent on knees, holding your hand, and bed we laid. See, out loud I prayed. Oh, the coldest summer ever. That piece, the CD is available on iTunes at cdbaby.com. However, in saying that, it's a powerful piece. It was the coldest summer ever. Now, how can summer be cold? Even though it was summertime, it was still cold outside.
But this is a love CD.
Yes.
And the coldest summer ever sounds like a lot of pain and hurt. But love came from it.
Love came out of it. Love came out of it. I made it through it. I made it through it because it was a very challenging time in my life, you know, when it came out. And it was very painful, you know, when you're in a relationship and you've been there for a while and you truly surrender, truly submit to love, you know. And for men, I would say, you know, it was the first time outside of my marriage. It was, I could truly, honestly say it was the first time that I ever truly knew what love meant and felt like. And I was grateful to go through it because it was hard coming out of that pain for a while. It took a while to come out of it, but I grew. Mm-hmm. I can say that I definitely grew.
Wonderful. Yeah. And you cannot hear pain in that CD.
No.
You have all that beautiful music going and then your poetry. It is wonderful to hear the amount of love that you're expressing in each one of the cuts that's on your CD.
Yeah.
And now I'm appreciating it even more so, knowing that it came from pain and moving forward in love.
Yes.
And so I can imagine what love must be like for you down the road.
I have a wonderful young lady in my life, and you know, you grow. You still grow because you can never know anyone. You could be with them for a lifetime, and you can never know all of that being. So I'm still learning. I'm still growing in the love and knowing how to not sweat the small things, as they would say. You know, sometimes we sweat them. Sometimes I, fall short. But love is a beautiful thing. You know, it's wonderful. And
now, oftentimes we attract our opposites.
Yeah.
But we love better with our twins. Would you say that you are with your twin or with someone that you have more in common with than not?
Well, let's say that we have some things in common.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's beautiful that we do have those things in common, and we're learning some other things. You know, we've only been in a relationship now just about a year, and so it's fresh, it's new. There are some challenging times, but overall, she's a wonderful person, and very, very loving, very caring person, and that's really important. And likewise, I'm a very caring person, and so we're growing deeper into that love, so it's great.
Are you continuing to have fun?
Yes. Gotta have fun. Yes, you gotta have that fun. It's important to be able to laugh.
Yes.
Yes. And then you can look back, even at some of the silly things, and you can look back and still find some humor in it, yes. After you've crossed that next road or that next bridge. So it's really important to have the laughter.
Yeah. I would say you have to also continue to dance.
Yes.
To dance.
Yes.
And know that in dancing, you're coming closer to each other, both with slow dancing and fast dancing. But if you can dance, it keeps things light, keeps things fun and
Yes.
keeps things moving forward.
Yes.
Because dancing is a way in which we learn more about ourselves, learn more about our abilities, but through dancing, you know more about how you move together and grow together
Right,
and sway
right.
together. I think that
I
is.
agree with you. I agree. As a matter of fact, I recently wrote a piece. It's called Slow Dance, as a matter of fact, and it's a nice piece. It's going to come out real nice on the next CD. I can assure you of that.
Something that is really, really important is that we are talking about our experiences, but our young people have not experienced what we have experienced yet. But I want to assure you that there are a lot of young folks who are in very loving relationships and are working towards those experiences of their own. My children are in very loving relationships, and they know and understand, even though they are from divorced parents, they know and understand that it being part of a family means not just being with the one person that you're in love with, but also loving their parents, loving their siblings, and their friends.
That's really important that you said that, because I have two daughters. One's 23, the other is 19, and my son, he's 31. And even though I've been divorced now 12, 13 years, they have mom and dad to give them that love. They get love, unquestionable love from dad. There was times I would go up to their junior high school and just take them flowers. And I think it's really important for the connectivity with young males and females from their fathers to show them that love, as well as it's important from the mother. And even though they're in two separate households, they still receive and receive that love. I think it's important for our young men to understand love and how to be in connection with that inner love for themselves. And they need elders, they need men to teach them as well that it's okay to grow in love and to surrender to love, because without love, I think the human soul will simply perish. There's nothing, in my opinion, more greater than love. Nothing more greater than love.
Yeah.
That's first loving yourself, loving that God or spirit or universe, and then you can share that love, and until we start as a human race to start truly understanding what love is, because a lot of people have different understandings of what they would think love is. And I think it's really important, as you said earlier, that our young ones see it, not just what they say on TV, but they have to see it within the household. I think it starts there, and then it filters out from there.
Yes. I appreciate what you just said about taking flowers to the school and allowing your children to see you in a loving way towards them. Then they are not satisfied with when someone is not treating them in a respectful way or a loving way, because they know the difference. They're getting it from their parents. They're getting it from the people that matter. And that's the same with our loved ones who are in the kinds of relationships that are abusive, that are not the kind of relationships that builds and nurtures their spirit. And so I want to make sure that we can move forward with this topic, because it is so important in our communities when we're talking about all that's going on. It's so important that we are an example to not only the people that we are working with, but the people that we profess to love, our relationships, our children, etc.
Yes.
And so if you, brother, can commit on live TV to come again so that we can continue forward.
I would love to, and I am honored to be able to be here and being asked to speak on the topic. As I said before, I'm not a professional at this. I'm still learning, but I'm grateful to be able to share whatever the Most High has given me on the topic and in truth. So I am, once again, I'm honored. I'd love to be here again. Thank you.
I thank you.
Ashe. Ashe.
Thank you once again for joining us on education in our community, and on behalf of our producers, Edmund Broussard, as well as Ms. M, I am thankful to have been here and would like to have you join us again. Thank you. And thank you for coming.
And thank you again, sister.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you. So I hope, yes, thank you. I hope.